Hi there, I'm Katie Wagner. Welcome to Social Media Help Desk. This is the time every week when we get together to talk about what's new on social media and what we've been seeing work around the agency for our clients. We like to talk about what produces results and how you can do social media better at home. So today I'm joined by our content editor, Isaac.
Hello.
And our content editor, Taylor.
Hi.
And this is authentic behavior, networks of accounts or pages that are working to mislead others about who they are and what they're doing. So that's who Facebook says they are cracking down on to start. And we saw this with the Russian hacking activity around the last election. And I know that it's probably a response to this next election coming up pretty soon.
Definitely.
And they're trying to get things a little cleaned up before that.
Yeah, I think we know it's a direct response to the elections because as we talked about last time I was on, they had sent out the notice to all of the agencies that use Facebook about having these new requirements. If you're an agency, if you're running ads for campaigns for the elections, that they're cracking down. One thing I noticed reading this article was that they'd only removed it was 559 pages and 251 accounts. To me, that didn't seem like a lot compared to how many users are on Facebook.
Right. I mean, well, there's millions of users on Facebook, right?
So 700 maybe in total that got taken down so far. It didn't seem like...
Maybe they're starting slow.
Yeah.
They're just easing in.
We'll see.
Right?
Yeah, definitely.
But I also think there's danger, right? And you don't want to delete somebody you think is fake if they're not really fake. So there's probably some research that goes into that.
Yeah, I mean, I think they know.
I think, well, we know.
Right? Yeah.
Well, speaking of
If we
research,
know.
Facebook said they are going to use artificial intelligence to sort of ramp things up and keep getting rid of duplicate accounts, fraudulent pages, things of that nature.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, all right.
It's just getting started.
It's a whole new world on Facebook. So all you hackers and inauthentic accounts need to beware. And so Instagram, which is owned by Facebook, Instagram has a new feature we wanted to talk about too. And this is one, it's called Name Tag,
Yes.
right? We have a clever blog on this called Hello, My Name Is. And Taylor, why don't you explain it? What does Name Tag allow us to do?
So Name Tag, it's going to sound really familiar because Snapchat has a feature very similar to it where you scan somebody else's Snapchat name and then that user pops up to follow them. Instagram pretty much did the same exact thing, which we've seen this also come out with stories. We've seen a lot of the same
Instagram
tactics.
is like Snapchat 6 months later.
Yes,
right?
yes.
I
mean, they're so big, they're getting away with it, but a lot of these things did originate from Snapchat's idea, so I think that they should get credit. But yeah, Name Tag, it's a great feature for Instagram, especially because which is something I think you see on Instagram and not Snapchat, is people have different handles and more intricate names, where Snapchat's is more first and last name. So now if you meet someone and they do have some crazy handle, mine used to be Bratty BTG and a long backstory, no one would ever find me under that. So now if I had the name tag, everybody has it, when we use it, then you could pull it up right away and find me.
So I don't have to like search for you and know that you're Bratty BTG.
No.
I would just be able to say, let me scan your name tag, and then it goes right into my Instagram.
Yes, and even if we're not in person, you can also share a link to your name tag now via Twitter, Facebook, email, text message, which is another really cool thing. So even this week, what I started doing was sharing some of the clients that we run, sharing our links on their Facebook account, saying you can just follow us by clicking this, here's our account, and it's kind of a new way to promote yourself.
Do you hear Finn snoring?
Yes. Yeah.
Finn is
Just
not
ignoring
impressed
it.
with name tags on Instagram at all. But okay, so let me ask you this. When I scan your name tag, does it automatically follow you, or do I still have to click to follow you?
It pops up and then you have to follow me.
Okay.
Yes, but it'll pop up. You can customize what pops up as colors. You can add a picture. You can do emojis in the background of your name. But it's pretty much the Instagram logo on top of whatever you designed with your handle. And then you have to hit follow. And then if you don't, like I said, if you're not in person, there's a link in the top right-hand corner, which is just your standard share link that looks the same on all iPhones. You don't have that, but it probably looks the same on your Droid.
It may look better on my Droid. You don't know.
Maybe. And then that's how you can share it with someone as well. So even if you're in person and they don't have their phone, you can just say like, hey, what's your number? I'll share it with you. Or here's your email, or in a client email, anything like that.
Well, and I like what you said, because best practices may now be to share that link on your other channels. Say,
Yeah.
hey, follow us on Instagram, right? And it's a good way to drive traffic.
Before I was saying that and I would just link to our account, but I don't think people really, I don't think they make the connection. So now having that exact follow link, it's not just them landing on our page and then following, they're getting directly to that follow.
Okay. Okay. And tell us, for those of us who aren't well versed with name tag, tell us where on Instagram you would find that feature.
Okay, so on name tag, you're going to go to your profile page, which to get to your profile, you would touch the icon in the bottom right-hand corner of Instagram. Then you'll be on your profile. And then you go to the top right-hand corner icon. Most people call it the hamburger icon because it's three lines. Yeah, it's just a menu button. And then when you open the menu, you'll see name tag. And that's been added to it. And you just select name tag, and that's when it pops up. And then you have the option to select scan your name tag or let somebody scan yours. And it just kind of flips the view, the camera view. And then you hold it over each other or vice versa, whoever's doing whatever scanning, and it pops up. Or you can use the share link in the corner.
Okay, I like it.
Pretty easy.
I like it. Have you used this yet, Isaac?
Not yet, but I mean, there's no reason not to for essentially any business owner. It makes it so much easier to follow your social media. So it's going to be something that we're going to see a lot more often. Snapchat was pretty private, I suppose, and kind of a niche app, mainly for a younger audience. But businesses are all over Instagram, so this will make getting traffic much more easier.
Yeah, I actually noticed we had our Instagram boot camp 2 weeks ago, and I noticed that all of them were, once they knew how to use it, they were all scanning each other's to try to follow.
That was really fun. I know, I might send a group text to everyone at work, like, follow me, here's mine. Okay. We'll get everyone testing it out.
We'll be looking for it. Good. All right, so we also have news out of Pinterest. You guys know that Pinterest is a huge shopping channel, and the holidays are coming up, so everybody's thinking about shopping, and Pinterest has unveiled some new features to make it easier to shop. So they've seen, we should tell you, an increase by 40% in retail sales on Pinterest over the last year. So shopping activity there has always been big, but is increasing even more. And so they now want you to be able to purchase what you've pinned on Pinterest really easily. And so they've got 3 new features. One is that they're going to have up-to-date pricing and stock information on every pin. So you can tell if that
I love this.
Sweater you want is in stock in your size, right? Which is
not
nice.
Last season.
Not last season. It also has the introduction, I like this one the best, products like this function. So if I really like something, I can hit products like this and it'll show me similar ones. Because sometimes I find something that I think is pretty good, but I might want something a little different or a little better. So it'll search that database and give me products that are similar. And then a shopping shortcut similar to similar products that you were browsing. So if I'm on my feed and I'm looking at stuff on Pinterest, I can hit the shopping shortcut and it will show me products like that and all the shopping information.
Got it. So that's the exact feature that's called the shopping shortcut.
Yeah, I don't know what it's actually called on Pinterest, but that's what they're referring to it as.
Okay.
I'm sure it just says shop or shop now,
I feel like I'm shocked that they haven't done this sooner because most websites, online shopping, I'm a big online shopper, and I do the products like this 100%. So if I'm ever looking at black sandals and I see one I like, they'll bring up tons of other black sandals on the website and I can select from that, or denim skirts, and so it's really nice to have that filter of things, and it really starts, I think, it's not the algorithms, but it really curates what you've liked, what you've looked at, what you Google, and it's really customized, and I think that's a great feature, and I'm glad they're finally doing it.
Well, let's talk about how it used to work, because Pinterest has always been good for shopping, and if you have a product that you're pinning on Pinterest, you would usually have that link back to your website where you could buy it. So people would click, make the pin big, and then they could click again to go to your website to purchase the product. So they're essentially eliminating those steps, right? Now it says shop direct, and you can, I don't know if that's actually what the button says, but there's a button that says you can shop, you go right to where you purchase it. So they're just taking out those steps and making it easier to buy, because I think really Pinterest has realized that this is their secret sauce, right? Other channels are better for engagement or for driving traffic to your website or whatever, but Pinterest is really good for selling things. E-commerce things.
And you know that it's popular because you see Instagram trying to incorporate all of the shop features, and they just added them into shopping your stories. But I personally still have not bought one thing from Instagram that way. Not yet. So
no. I'll respond to ads. Like I'll buy things off Facebook ads or Instagram ads, but never just a link in the story. I've never bought anything either.
Yeah, not yet. Me neither.
Have you?
No, not yet, but I think this is also great for businesses that want to market through Pinterest much more.
Absolutely.
Since consumers are going to be staying on Pinterest more with these features, it just makes more sense to start posting on Pinterest much more with your products, and really hoping that people will be able to find them now that they can actually view something that's similar to maybe a competitor's, so you'll still get their attention.
And I think if you're a business that doesn't use Pinterest because you think, how would I use this? And we get this question all the time, is like, how does my brand fit into Pinterest? But I think with accounts like this, it's an opportunity to showcase things beyond your brand, your culture, things you guys like, events, holiday decorating ideas. As we're talking about our big bake-off, we could do a whole board around that. So just because you're a law firm or you're writing a book, you could still create boards that kind of reflect the business's personality. And this is just kind of expanding your brand as a whole, and it's a really good opportunity to take advantage of.
Absolutely. I want to go back to one thing that you hinted at, Isaac, because if you have a product, you should absolutely be on Pinterest, right? Especially if it's a visual product or something people are searching for. But you hinted at the fact that even if I'm looking at a competitor's product, I could be able to find yours now because of the Show Me Similar Products feature,
Exactly.
right? So if we have black sandals and you're looking at my competitor's black sandals, mine may now come up as an option, whereas it wouldn't have so easily before.
But now, do you think that companies that were getting searched are being bummed that other ones are getting filtered in? Do you think there'll be a way to incorporate how you get better SEO?
I mean, fair is fair, right? Because
Yeah.
if I'm showing up in your search, you're showing up in mine too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Of course.
There's fear of missing out, I think, for most businesses, so they'll definitely want to be there,
Yeah.
even though they know that some people might, look at a competing product instead of their product. They know the reverse is also true. So.
Well, and we know there are things you can do to have your pins show up better in search. Those are all algorithm. They work on the algorithm, right? So you can write better descriptions. You can use keywords in your descriptions. You can have rich pins, which are the shoppable ones, and fill out all the information. All of these things actually help show up better in search. And if you want to get really hardcore before the holidays, you can run Pinterest ads, right? You can promote pins to show up to your target audience.
And we know they've expanded that recently too.
So I think there's a lot more opportunity for brands to get involved for the holiday season. And the time to start doing that, you guys, is now, right? The holidays are upon us. They're, what is it?
It was yesterday, actually.
Yeah.
The Christmas stuff is already in the stores. So.
Right? It's not even Halloween yet.
Yeah.
But what is today? The 23rd of October?
Right.
So a couple weeks, we'll be into November. And then once you hit November 1st, I feel like it's all downhill. Like
we're
shopping
New Year,
season
next
is
summer.
is upon us. And so if you're looking for a strategy to promote your products on Pinterest or even on the other channels, and you want that pull for the shopping season, the holiday season, start now, because as Taylor said, you might be a little late already.
I have already purchased my first Christmas present.
Oh my
Oh,
gosh.
wow.
For who?
For my stepmother.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
shout out to her. That's pretty.
Early.
She's at the top of the list. But we've already started designing strategies for our clients for the holiday push and into Q1 of next year. So don't waste any time if that's something you need to capitalize on.
I think a good example is like if it's happening in your personal life, then it should also play into your business. If you're starting to do things like Christmas, holidays, Thanksgiving, you should be tying those things into your marketing efforts. And so it's a good way to kind of relate it,
You said you got your first holiday gift. I actually got my first holiday party invitation.
Oh my gosh.
Which is like really early, right?
They want the good date.
Yeah, people are thinking about those things,
yeah.
right? So social media strategies should be no different. And then one other thing in the news section here, YouTube has developed some new features. It's funny that like every week we talk about new features on practically every channel. This is what makes our business so hard because things change constantly. But YouTube says they're addressing a complaint they got from their constituents. I don't know if this is a complaint I've had, but y'all tell me. They say people want to be able to search for the next video they're going to watch while they're watching a video.
I think this is 100% valuable, but it's not 100% answered, because I think the biggest complaint with anyone that watches YouTube is I don't not only want to be able to search other YouTube videos, I want to be able to exit and go play on my phone while the video still plays. So I listen
why
to it.
Why are you watching the video then?
Well, it's just like listening to a podcast. Like these bloggers at YouTube at home, I don't need to watch them sitting in their chair talking the whole time when I can just listen to it. And so it's the same thing, is that the video now will turn into a little video at the bottom and you can search, but I want to be able to have that same thing on my home screen of my phone as well.
You want to get off the YouTube app and do other things on the computer.
Yes, that is, I think, the biggest complaint YouTube gets, and I think this is kind of like a half answer to it. They're getting there.
Okay, so a couple of things. What Taylor's talking about is that now they're allowing you to have what they call a mini player, which is where you're playing the video small in the corner and you can search for other material on YouTube while you're playing it. So that's their answer. You want more than that. Well, she always wants more. So you need to write a strongly worded letter to Google, because that's who owns YouTube.
If you're watching this, Google.
Yeah.
We'll put Google in the comments for SEO a bunch.
You know what, though? Wouldn't your feature be something Google would want? Because what are you going to do? You're going to go search for stuff and use Google.
Yeah.
What if I
yeah.
could use 2 Google apps at the same time?
Well, I want to go on Instagram, I want to check it out.
Okay,
I just want to be able to use my phone while the video is in the bottom corner, and I think that's probably the biggest complaint you get from anybody who uses YouTube.
So I'm not saying this derogatorily, because you know I love millennials, but I think part of what you're saying is the millennial mindset that we're marketing against these days, right?
Yeah.
People have really short attention spans, and people like to multitask,
Yes.
and people are not content just sitting there watching something the way they used to be. You know what my dad would do if he used YouTube? My dad doesn't know how to use YouTube, but if he did, he would start a video and he would sit there and watch it, and then he'd watch all the commercials or the other videos they suggest because he wouldn't know how to get out of it, right?
No.
Because he comes from a time when, like, you're going to do one thing, you sit there and you do it. Our time is different,
I
right?
would
Your
not
time
get
is
anything
different.
done. No.
You might get more done, but we'll talk about that later. But consumers these days, here's my point. Consumers these days, they do lots of things at once. We hear that term double screening, where people are watching TV and playing on their smartphone, or they're tweeting and, you know, playing a video game, or whatever that looks like.
I mean, you can listen to a podcast and exit out, and that still plays. You can listen to music and exit out, and that still plays. So I don't see why you can't listen to a video as well.
Right. And maybe that's what consumers want. They want to be able to do multiple things at once.
I think this is part of consistency, though, on YouTube's part, because if you use the YouTube app, you can start scrolling down, and it does make the mini browser. It's been like that for a while, though. This is pretty recent, though, as far as being able to do it on your desktop. And it's really easy to find, actually. If you're viewing a YouTube video, just go to the bottom right of the video where you normally go to maybe full screen, click the full screen option. Right next to that will be the option for the mini browser. So just put your mouse icon over there, click it, and you get the mini browser in your bottom right. So it's pretty easy to find.
Mini player.
Mini player.
Mini players, what they're calling it, yeah. So if you're into that, you're a multitasker, that's the way to do it. But I think, you know, when we know this about consumers, that they have short attention spans, that they want to multitask, it feeds into how you should be making your content, because your content has to be short, right? It has to be short, it has to be engaging. Like, do we need long form content on social media? Maybe not as much.
I think you could play devil's advocate, and if the video was that engaging for me to watch, I would want to watch it and not just listen to it, you know? But
So no more YouTubers in their bedrooms?
no, I'm sorry, you guys. No more.
All right, good. So lots of changes going on. I want to talk about something that we don't talk about often enough. We get comments a lot about, how do I respond to the people that are commenting or asking me questions on social media? And typically when I give speaking engagements or trainings, people ask, what do I do when somebody says something negative, right? Somebody leaves a bad review or makes a complaint about your product or says something snarky on your page. And there needs to be protocol around that. We talk about that a lot. You can find articles on that on our blog, or send us an email, tips@kwsmdigital.com. We're happy to advise you on those things. But what we never talk about is, what do we do if somebody says something good, right? What if we have happy customers that are leaving testimonials and writing comments and that sort of thing? And so today I thought we'd talk a little bit about that, and like, what should you do? Like, give me some ideas, you guys. Somebody says, hey, you know, they make a comment in your post that says, hey, love you, think you're great. Just like everyone's going to do on social media help desk in the comments below.
Well, you definitely have to thank the people that took the time to leave a positive review or a positive comment.
Yeah.
These people not only took the time to write it online, but they're probably going to, you know, spread it by word of mouth that your product or your service is great. So by being able to nurture that customer, you're only doing your business favors.
Is liking the comment enough? Because you have the option to just like it, or you can leave a comment
Well,
as well.
I think liking it is like, you have to, right?
Yeah.
Like, why
Have
would you
to
not
like 'em all.
acknowledge that
Yes.
somebody's going to say it? But I think, you know, saying thank you goes a long way.
Yeah.
Like, actually writing back to them.
They'll feel good, you know, it does your business good too, just being able to show that you're active and you're responding to the customers, not just the complaints, but also the positive feedback. So people notice that, I think. It's definitely important.
I think they do too. And usually I think, this is true of bad comments or good comments, you're not typically responding for that person. You're responding for everyone else who's going to see that comment on your page and see the way you treated that customer, right? And so, yeah, saying thank you, but there's other ways to respond. What else could we do? Sometimes asking a question.
Yeah, so that's my favorite one that I want to talk about, because I have some accounts and other people's businesses, mine experiences too, where they just have very low engagement, and it's just kind of part of the product and the brand. There's only so much you can do. But if you get that one comment, the best thing to do is to ask a question. And I've been doing this a lot lately, and it's really proven to work. And whether it's like, hey, the farmer's market is this weekend, and they say, yay, can't wait to go, I'll say, okay, what's on your shopping list? And they'll write me back a list of everything they want on the shopping list. And I won't keep going back and forth. I'll try to just get one, because then, you want it to be natural and organic. But I've seen a lot of good success with it, and a lot of my posts have been boosted just by asking that follow-up question.
Yeah, so two things going on there. First, you said your posts have been boosted. Facebook's algorithm likes you to get comments, right? If you get a lot of back and forth and comments on your post, that's called a hot thread, and Facebook will shoot that to the top of the algorithm. So then more people see that post, and more people are likely to comment on it. But I also think it's the human interaction. It's the beauty of social networking, right? Networking online isn't that different than what we do when we see people in person. And if Taylor came and said, hey, I really like your dress, I wouldn't go, huh, and walk away, right? I'd go, like, hey, thanks, Taylor. Ooh, where'd you get that skirt, right? Like, we would have an interaction. And I think people, because we move so much into social media being real communication these days, and it replacing face-to-face communication in some ways, people expect that same level of interaction when they're leaving a comment or a question.
I also think there's this weird, I'm going to use the term celebrity, but that's not correct. But I've noticed that with some of my bigger clients, and if you have a brand that has a bigger following, when you do respond, people feel really special that you responded to them or you featured them, and that's something else we'll talk about featuring the thank yous.
It makes them feel important.
Yeah, and they'll repost like, oh, thanks Dana Point for like writing me, or and whatnot. But I think it goes a long ways, because it's not that celebrity aspect, but I think it shows that you took the time, or like, oh my gosh, this whole account is like focused on me, or like responding just to me individually. Shows a lot.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Definitely,
I agree with that. What's another way we could respond? So say thank you, ask questions, get the conversation going. What else?
If somebody said, oh, thanks, I really like the product or the service, it's also an opportunity to maybe offer a different product that they might like also that you sell, or a similar service, something that complements what they already reviewed positively. It'd be a great opportunity, I think, to use one customer's purchase to try to lead them into the next purchase.
Well, it's kind of what Katie was saying earlier, is that it's not so much for that one person, but for other people looking at the comments. And so they'll see like, oh, I just got this other tips and trick from them responding to this person, and then maybe they'll be more inclined to go look at all of your comments and whatnot and so forth.
I think it's offering value, right? It's not just saying, hey, I hit the like button. It's saying, oh, I'm so glad you like this. Have you tried this one? Right? A lot of our clients who have products may have like different versions or upscale models of something, and maybe they'd like to try those. I think as long as, I know he's totally snoring, I think as long as you're adding value and really keeping the conversation going in an authentic way, and not just being like, you should buy this one, right? Like, it has to be natural, but I think that can add value and also helps you market, right? I mean, let's be honest, that's why we're doing all of this, right? So it helps you market. And then Taylor, you mentioned something that we talk about all the time here. When somebody says something great about your product, that's good content, right? And you can use that content and share it with your audience and share it on other channels too. Give me an example of how we might do that. What if somebody writes a positive review on my Yelp page? What am I going to do with it?
Yeah, so a lot of the time, per the brands that we represent and what you'll want to do with your own brand, is maybe create a standard template that you use with your logo, your design. You can craft something.
Like a graphic?
Yeah, create a graphic that you can insert comments and insert reviews into, and they stay consistent, but the reviews change. And so take someone's positive review off Yelp or even off Instagram and put it in quotes and put it in that graphic, and then we post that graphic to get that positive morale out there of our brand. And you can do this with tons of different things, but whether it's a Yelp review, whether it's social comments, whether it's someone reposting like, hey, thanks so much for sharing, then you repost that. It can be a train of effects, and it's really good content.
You could do it with a Facebook review. Even sometimes we get handwritten notes from our clients, right? They're on our fridge back in the break room. You could take that and type it into a graphic and turn it into a piece of content that you then put on Facebook or Twitter or Instagram and share it out. I also, sometimes I'm guilty of just taking screenshots of it. I would screenshot a Facebook review or a Yelp review and post that as a photograph to share it in my content.
Very authentic,
Yeah. Well, I think we run into the concept of social proof, right?
Yes.
You guys know what social proof is? It basically means that if you're in a situation where you don't know what to do, you assume everyone else is right. So if I need a plumber and I don't know what kind of plumber to pick, I can go on these review sites, people say nice things. I assume that plumber's good even if I don't know them, and I don't know the people saying it. But basically, other people saying good things about your services is more powerful than you saying it. And so we could say, hey, we got this review, and just, I've seen people like type it in the post box and say, Bob said this about us. We could have made that up, you know? It's not really that powerful to me, because it's not the most powerful form of social proof. But taking a screenshot of Bob's comments, or even a photograph of Bob's handwritten letter and sharing that, that's really authentic. That does wonders.
And I think when you pull from platforms like Yelp streamlines reviews, and they won't let you have so many good ones if it seems like, hey, you're paying people to put these up, or like this doesn't seem authentic. So I think you can pull from credible sources as well to further back up the credibility behind that review.
Yeah, definitely. And it's ultimately just a sign of trust, a sign that a customer trusted your business or your service, and they liked it so much they left a review. And trust is so important in any type of business, really, when you're marketing.
Well, and you want to encourage that behavior, right?
Definitely.
So acknowledge them, say thank you, do some of these things, and don't just save your responses for when something's wrong or someone's angry. Those do have to be addressed, and we can talk about that in a future episode, but say something to the good ones too, because I think that's a missed opportunity if you don't.
Definitely.
Yeah, of course.
All right. Well, that's our show for today. If you need other tips and tricks between now and next Tuesday, there's a couple places you can get them. First, we have a blog. It's on our website. We blog every single day, so you'll get lots of articles. That website is KWSMdigital.com. We also have a YouTube channel. Maybe you're watching this on there now, where we have all the past episodes of this show, and also tip of the day videos. So there's hundreds of tip videos there that you can watch. And if you get really desperate and have a specific question you need our help with, just email us, tips@kwsmdigital.com, and we're happy to look at what you're doing on social and offer our advice or answer any questions you have. And then finally, if you need to make YouTube videos of your own, you're not sure how to get started with that, we actually have our YouTube boot camp coming up this Friday. It's from 9 to noon at our office in Aliso Viejo, California. You are welcome to get information on that on our website as well, and we hope to see you there. Otherwise, we hope you didn't sleep through Social Media Help Desk the way Finn did. And we will see you back here next Tuesday at 12:30 Pacific Time, 3:30 Eastern Time. And until then, have a good week.
Bye.
Bye.